Picture your brain as a busy shipping port. Iron is the cargo. Oxygen is the thing that cargo makes possible. And your blood is the fleet of trucks delivering oxygen to every neighborhood in your body. Brain, muscles, heart, and even that one stubborn toenail that refuses to heal like a normal citizen. Now here's the problem. Most people think an iron test is one thing, but iron is a system. And if you only check one number, you're basically trying to run a port by looking at a single forklift and declaring, yep, we're good. So today, I'm going to teach you how to read iron labs like a pro without needing a hematology fellowship or a full moon. And more importantly, you'll know when to ask for these tests, what patterns mean, and what questions to bring back to your doctor. Because this matters. Low iron can look like fatigue, hair shedding, shortness of breath, restless legs, palpitations, headaches, anxiety, cold intolerance, poor exercise tolerance, and brain fog. In other words, symptoms that get blamed on stress, getting older, or just life. And yes, sometimes it really is life, but sometimes it's iron. Before we jump in, quick safety note. This is education, not personal medical advice. Iron is one of those nutrients where too little is a problem and too much is also a problem. So please don't start megadosing iron because a number on the internet made you nervous. All right, let's build the visual. In our shipping port, iron is the amount of cargo currently floating in the water and actively moving. Transferrin is the fleet of cargo ships that carries iron. TIBC is how many total seats are available on those ships. UIBC is how many seats are still empty. Transferrin saturation is how full the ships are. And ferritin is the warehouse storage, how much iron you've got stored away for later. Now let's translate that into real labs you can ask for. If you want a truly useful workup, ask your doctor for a CBC, ferritin, serum iron, TIBC, transferrin saturation, and in certain situations, CRP, soluble transferrin receptor, reticulocyte hemoglobin, sometimes B12 and folate too, because anemia is a team sport. Let's start with the one people misunderstand the most, ferritin. Ferritin is your iron warehouse. Low ferritin usually means your warehouse is empty. This is classic iron deficiency, sometimes before your hemoglobin drops. So if you feel awful and your doctor says your hemoglobin is normal, but nobody checked ferritin, that's like saying your truck is still moving while ignoring the fact you're about to run out of gas. Now here's the twist. Ferritin is also an acute phase reactant. That means inflammation can falsely raise ferritin. So you can have iron deficiency with a ferritin that looks fine. That's where the rest of the panel matters. Next, serum iron. The serum iron is the iron currently circulating. It changes throughout the day. It can drop during illness. It can bounce around based on recent intake. So serum iron alone is a terrible yes-no test. It's a clue, not a conclusion. Next, TIBC and transferrin. TIBC is basically your body saying, how many iron-carrying seats do I have available? When you are iron deficient, your body tends to produce more transferrin to grab whatever iron it can. So TIBC often goes up in iron deficiency. When you're inflamed or chronically ill, your liver may make less transferrin. So TIBC often goes down in inflammatory states. Now, transferrin saturation, this is the percentage of seats filled. If the ships are mostly empty, TSAT is low. If the ships are overloaded, TSAT is high. This one is incredibly helpful for pattern recognition. Now let's connect it to the why do I feel like trash lab most people get, hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the oxygen-carrying protein inside red blood cells. If it's low, you're anemic. But here's what people miss. You can be iron deficient without anemia. You can be symptomatic without a low hemoglobin, especially if ferritin is low and your tissues are running on fumes. So when should someone ask their doctor for deeper iron testing? Here are common scenarios. If fatigue, brain fog, low stamina, or shortness of breath are persistent, if hair loss is happening, especially in women, if restless legs show up at night, if heavy menstrual bleeding is present, if you're pregnant, postpartum, or recently had surgery, if you have GI symptoms, reflux meds too long, or absorption issues, if you've had bariatric surgery, if you donate blood frequently, if you have chronic inflammation, autoimmune disease, kidney disease, or frequent infections. If you're an athlete with unexplained performance decline. If your CBC shows low MCV or high RDV. Now I'm going to give you the big 4 patterns. This is the part where people go from confused to being dangerous at family gatherings. Pattern number 1, classic iron deficiency. Ferritin is low, serum iron is low, TIBC is high, TSAT low. And the CBC may show low hemoglobin, low MCV, high RDW as it progresses. Translation: warehouses are empty, ships are empty, and your body is desperately adding more ships to hunt down iron. Root cause question to ask: where is iron being lost? Heavy periods, GI bleeding, frequent blood donation. And if intake is okay, where is iron not being absorbed? Low stomach acid, celiac, inflammation in the gut, medications like PPIs. That's the root cause mindset, not just take iron. Pattern 2, anemia of chronic inflammation, sometimes called anemia of chronic disease. Ferritin is normal or high, serum iron is low, TIBC low or normal, TSAT is low. Translation: the warehouses look stocked, but the port is locked down. This is usually hepcidin driven. Hepcidin is like the security guard that says, no iron leaves the warehouse today. Why would the body do that? Because in infection and inflammation, many pathogens love iron. So the immune system hides it. Great for survival, not great for energy. Root cause questions here. What is driving inflammation? Autoimmune issues, chronic infections, kidney disease, metabolic inflammation. This is a don't guess zone, because throwing iron at this without clarity can backfire. Pattern number 3, iron overload hemochromatosis pattern. Ferritin often high, serum iron is high, TSAT is high, TIBC often low or normal. Translation: ships are overloaded, warehouses are overflowing, and iron starts getting stored in places it shouldn't, like the liver, heart, pancreas, and joints. Root cause questions. Is this genetic hemochromatosis? Excess supplementation? Multiple transfusions? This is why just take iron is not a harmless suggestion. Pattern 4, mixed picture. Iron deficiency plus inflammation. Ferritin might be normal because inflammation pushes it up. Serum iron is low. TSAT is low. TIBC may not be high like you'd expect. This is where extra tools help. CRP can tell you if inflammation is present. Soluble transferrin receptor tends to rise in true iron deficiency and is less affected by inflammation. Reticulocyte hemoglobin can show rather new red blood cells are being built with enough iron right now. Translation: if the picture is muddy, don't pretend it's clear. Get the right supporting tests. Now, quick practical example so you can feel confident. If someone has a ferritin of 8, which is low, iron that's low, TIBC that's high, TSAT that's low, that screams iron deficiency. If someone has a ferritin that's 250, which is high, iron that's low, TIBC that's low, TSAT that's low, that screams inflammation-driven iron restriction. If someone has ferritin that's 500, which is high, iron that's high, TSAT 60%, which is high, that raises concern for overload. Different problems, different root causes, different solutions. Same word, iron. Now you can see the trap. Now, mid-video favor. If this kind of Make Labs Make Sense content is helpful, hit like and subscribe. Because I'm not here to just read reference ranges. I'm here to help you understand what your body is trying to tell you. Final piece, what to say to your doctor. Try this. I'm still symptomatic and I'd like to evaluate iron status more completely. Can we check a CBC, ferritin, serum iron, TIBC, or transferrin, and transferrin saturation? And if inflammation might be a factor, can we add CRP and consider soluble transferrin receptor or reticulocyte hemoglobin if results are unclear? That's a respectful, informed request. And it signals you're not just asking for random labs. You're asking for a diagnosis. Because the goal is not to chase numbers. The goal is to find the reason the port is failing. Is iron leaving the body? Is iron not getting in? Is iron trapped due to inflammation? Or is iron piling up dangerously? That's root cause medicine. And when you treat root causes, symptoms don't just get managed. They often resolve. And if you want my lab list template and a quick cheat sheet of these patterns, check the descriptions or the video comments. And if you want more videos like this, thyroid, cholesterol, metabolic labs, click the playlist in the description and work your way through it. Your future self will thank you. And your port manager, also known as your body, will finally get the supplies it needs to run.